Hello, my name is Rhea Shelton, and the following is a presentation on using wikis in the library classroom, achieving distinguished level performance, and maximizing learning. The learning outcomes of this presentation will be: explain reasons why wikis should be used in the library classroom, define distinguished level performance and recognize benchmarks for distinguished level instruction, compare evidence from studies on wikis to distinguished level instruction benchmarks, and discover how to approach using wikis in library classroom instruction. To begin, there are three primary aspects of wikis that explain why they should be used in school librarians' instruction. For one, wikis and other technologies are a part of a school librarian's skill set. School librarians are more than just experts in books, they're experts in information as a whole, and in today's digital information age, their skill set includes knowledge of many Web 2.0 technologies such as wikis. Now, since technology is at the forefront of modern education, using these technologies in library instruction is not only a matter of necessity, but of suitability. For two, wikis are a great collaboration tool for both students and school librarians. The very definition of wikis is collaborative effort. So in using them, students can better work and learn together. And school librarians have an easy, fun way to join forces with other educators. And finally, speaking to the title of this presentation, wikis can help school librarians achieve distinguished performance as a part of the teaching community. As school librarians have taken on an instructional role, it's essential they have tools that contribute to the success of their teaching performance. But what exactly does distinguished level performance mean? The book Implementing the Framework for Teaching and Enhancing Professional Practice by Danielson et al. Outlines a framework of 4 domains of teaching. Within each domain are components and elements that contain benchmarks for educators to assess the level of their practices. The highest level of teaching performance is the distinguished level. It is at this level that engagement with the material is at its fullest potential, and as a result, student learning is maximized. It should be noted that the use of the term benchmark is specific to this presentation for the purposes of explanation and is not used by Danielson. So how do wikis fit in? As stated, Danielson discusses 4 domains of teaching. Domain 3 is instruction, and it is here where the use of wikis can be applied. In fact, Danielson mentions wikis specifically in one of the distinguished level benchmarks. Upon further review of Domain 3 benchmarks, along with professional literature, alignment between classroom wiki use and distinguished level instruction is reinforced. There are 5 distinguished level benchmarks for instruction that were most evident in the literature. These benchmarks are: motivate and allow for students to take responsibility and control over their learning, use tools that include and involve everyone through accessibility and flexibility, connect content to prior knowledge, other subjects, and personal interests, deeply engage students with content and spur new thoughts and ideas, and inspire and provide opportunities for meaningful participation and discussion, building on others' responses. These benchmarks were evident in more than one article in the research, but for the sake of conciseness, just one article is shown as an example. The article aligned with Benchmark 1, WikiQuest Microblogging and Personal Response Systems in the History Classroom, states that wikis shift the teacher's role from expert in charge to supporter and facilitator, giving students more responsibility over their learning. For Benchmark 2, the article Using a Wiki to Scaffold Primary School Students' Collaborative Writing states that the technological component of wikis makes them a relevant instructional tool that gives students more opportunities for participation, opening up access to all students. For Benchmark 3, the article Another C for Learning states that the functionality of wikis allows students to take new information and create the necessary pathways to prior knowledge. Making these connections is scientifically proven as the best way to learn. For Benchmark 4, the article The Logic of Wikis, The Possibilities of the Web 2.0 Classroom states that wikis bring about new ideas and solutions to problems, making students deeper thinkers through the logic of abduction. And finally, for Benchmark 5, the article Communicating, Collaborating, and Citing states that tools such as wikis can enhance student learning and engagement by increasing interaction and building a community through teamwork and common goals. So it's evident that using wikis in classroom instruction is an effective practice for distinguished level performance, but where's a good place to start? How should school librarians approach planning a wiki-based lesson? One way is to incorporate familiar elements, such as a picture book of a classic story, into the wiki lesson. This allows for students to make connections to prior knowledge, which is ultimately how they learn. Another approach is to start by pairing students in groups of 2 or 3. It was shown that students can exhibit some reluctance with monitoring and editing their classmates' work as is done in a wiki. Therefore, students might feel more comfortable building one in class by starting on a smaller stage. Another approach is to plan for group discussions in addition to the wiki lesson. This reiterates the fact that using wikis in the classroom has better success when paired with familiar elements. Students have shown to better reap the benefits of the collective aspect of wikis when a verbal group discussion is built in. School librarians can also apply enabling constraints to the wiki lesson. This means to provide a task or guideline to focus the students, but allow for open-ended and unplanned occurrences. Relinquish some control over the lesson structure and let the students steer the direction of the lesson. Lastly, school librarians can create a wiki plan based on class curriculum. This will use scaffolding to help enhance what the student is learning in the general classroom and provide a lesson that adheres to state standards. Also, students will have more invested since it pertains to other instruction and thus will be more engaged. For additional information and professional development on using wikis in library instruction, here are some online resources. In conclusion, the library classroom is the perfect place for using wikis, thanks to the school librarians' tech expertise and collaborative efforts that complement wiki features. There is clear evidence that using wikis in classroom instruction results in positive learning outcomes for students. These learning outcomes align with Danielson's benchmarks for achieving distinguished level instruction, where students can fully engage with material and maximize their learning. And finally, the uses for wikis are endless and can be tailored to fit the needs of the students and meet state academic standards. I hope you've enjoyed this presentation. Thank you for watching.